Why soldier, any settler, any man comes here seeking to harm you? They will answer to me. You the sun breaks over endless golden plains. Red rock formations pierce the horizon. A lonely homestead sits weathered and worn beneath a vast sky. Super. Arizona Territory, 1884. The wind carries dust across abandoned land. In the distance, dust clouds rise, riders approaching. Jacob Stone, 55. Weathered as the land itself, repairs a fence post. His face is creased from decades under the sun. His hands move with practiced efficiency. But there's a tremor, age catching up. His wife, Margaret, long deceased based on the worn cross visible near the house, watches over him in spirit. Hoofbeats. Many of them. Jacob looks up. His jaw tightens. He sets down his hammer deliberately, walks toward the house, and reaches inside the door for his rifle. 20 Apache riders emerge from the dust, led by Takoda, the Apache queen, a woman of perhaps 45, with eyes that have seen conquest and loss. She wears traditional Apache dress adorned with silver and turquoise. A sense of power radiates from her, like heat off the desert floor. The riders stop 50 yards from the homestead. Jacob steps forward, rifle held low but ready. He shows no fear, though his weathered face shows caution. Jacob calling out, "This is private land." Apache Valley is 2 days' ride north. Takoda's hand rises. The warriors remain mounted, still. She dismounts with fluid grace, gestures for her warriors to stay back, and walks toward Jacob alone. Takoda, voice steady, with a slight accent. "I am not here for war, Jacob Stone. I am here for what belongs to my people." Jacob's eyes narrow. He knows this woman's reputation. How she united 3 Apache bands. How she negotiated treaties that forced soldiers to retreat. How she lost her son in a skirmish 3 winters ago. "Jacob, I know who you are, Takoda. I also know I've done nothing to your people. We've kept to ourselves here. Takoda, not you. Someone before you. Someone who took something precious from my village when I was a girl." She stops 10 feet away. Despite the distance, her presence fills it. "Jacob, I don't know what you're talking about." Takoda, a soldier. "Cavalry. They came and burned our winter encampment in the year before you were born. They took women, horses, and sacred objects. One of those objects was a necklace, turquoise and silver, crafted by my great-grandmother. It was a gift to my mother. When the soldiers took her, they took the necklace too." Jacob's expression changes. Recognition, perhaps, or something deeper. "Jacob, that was a long time ago, Takoda." Takoda, yes. 30 years. But I have spent those 30 years hearing stories of a young soldier who was different, who was ashamed of what his brothers did, who left the cavalry and came to this land to live quietly, and who carried with him something that never belonged to him, a token of guilt. Jacob lowers his rifle slowly. "Jacob, come inside. Out of this heat." He turns and walks toward the house without waiting for response. Takoda follows. The interior is sparse but clean. A bed, a stove, shelves of provisions, and on the wall, above the fireplace, a framed photograph of a young Apache woman, Takoda's mother, and beside it, a small leather pouch. Takoda's breath catches. She walks toward it slowly, as if in a dream. Takoda whispered, "My mother. I haven't seen her face in 30 years. Jacob, a young soldier, a lieutenant named Blackwell. He gave me that photograph and this pouch the night before he died. He was dying of fever, and he needed someone to understand. He told me everything." He wept. Jacob reaches up and carefully takes down the leather pouch. Inside, wrapped in cloth, is a necklace of striking beauty. Turquoise stones set in intricate silver work, each piece telling a story. Takoda, voice trembling. "My mother wore this every day of her life. I remember, I was small, but I remember her fingers touching these stones as she told stories to me at night." Jacob, she was taken that night. The lieutenant, he couldn't stop it. He was young, frightened, and the others didn't listen to his pleas. But he remembered. He remembered her face, her dignity. When he knew he was dying, he found me, the one man among the soldiers he thought might understand. He asked me to return this, if I ever could, to return it to her daughter, if I ever found her. Takoda takes the necklace with both hands, holding it as if it might break. Tears streamed down her weathered face. Takoda, she died 3 winters after the raid. The trauma, losing everything, losing her dignity, it broke her spirit. I was 12. She taught me one thing before she died. That grief and anger were fires that would consume me if I let them. She told me to become strong for my people, not to become bitter. Jacob the lieutenant said the same thing. Near the end, he said the only way the pain meant anything was if it led to peace, not more war. Takoda, is that why you came here? To live alone, to carry this guilt? Jacob, I came here because I couldn't go back to who I was. And because I wanted to live on land where I wasn't part of an occupation, where I was just a man, trying to atone for the sins of others I couldn't stop. Takoda turns to face Jacob directly. For a long moment, they regard each other. 2 people who have lived parallel lives marked by the same tragedy. Takoda, when I was a young warrior, I came seeking you with vengeance in my heart. I would have killed you. I traced the stories, tracked you down, found your homestead. Jacob, calm, but you didn't. Takoda, no. Because when I arrived at the edge of your land, I saw you. You were burying something, a grave marker for a woman. You wept, and I understood that you too had lost someone. I saw grief, not cruelty. So I left. I've ridden past this place 3 times in the last 2 decades, watching. And each time, I saw a man trying to live with honor in the only way he knew how. She holds the necklace up to the light, streaming through the window. The turquoise glows. Takoda, so indeed, this necklace, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the dead, to my mother, to the lieutenant, to all those who suffered that day. But now I understand something I didn't understand as a young woman. Wearing it won't bring them back. Avenging it won't change what happened. But honoring it, honoring what it means, that might matter. Jacob, what will you do? Takoda, I will wear it, and I will tell my daughter the true story. Not a story of rage, but a story of how even in cruelty, there is sometimes a moment of conscience. How a man like you can spend decades trying to balance a scale that can never be balanced, but in trying, becomes good. She places the necklace around her neck carefully. It catches the light, glimmering against her skin. Jacob, your mother would have wanted that. Takoda, yes. I believe she would have. She walks toward the door, then pauses at the threshold. Takoda, so indeed, the Apache don't forget their dead. And we don't forgive those who take them lightly. But my people also understand something the cavalry never did, that there's more strength in moving forward than in being consumed by what was. Jacob, will your warriors respect that decision? To let me live? Takoda, they will, because I will tell them that this land is now under the protection of the Apache, that if and will live here unmolested for whatever time remains to you. And when
Takoda,
you die,
yes,
I will come myself to place you in the ground with the door. Jacob pauses at the threshold with emotion. Takoda, so indeed, the Apache don't forget their dead. And we don't forgive those who take them lightly. But my people also understand something the cavalry never did, that there's more strength in moving forward than in being consumed by what was. Jacob, will your warriors respect that decision? To let me live? Takoda, they will, because I will tell them that this land is now under the protection of the Apache, that if and will live here unmolested for whatever time remains to you. And when you die, I will come myself to place you in the ground with honor. Jacob, voice thick with emotion, why? Takoda, because the lieutenant was right. Because the only way to break the cycle is to show mercy when you have the power not to. Because your mother's spirit and my mother's spirit, they are both tired of blood. She extends her hand. Jacob takes it. 2 hands, weathered by sun and sorrow, meeting across a gulf of history and pain. Takoda walks back to her warriors. She mounts her horse fluidly. The warriors straighten, watching their queen. She touches the necklace at her throat, a gesture of finality and acceptance. Takoda, to her warriors, this man is under our protection. This land is Apache land now. Let no one forget. Warrior number 1, uncertain, but Takoda. Takoda, firm, there is no but. A wrong from 30 years ago has been made right. An old soldier has spent his lifetime in atonement, and a sacred object returns to our people. This is justice. She turns her horse toward the horizon. Takoda, so indeed, we ride for home. The warriors turn their horses in unison. 20 riders begin to move. dust rising beneath hooves. Jacob stands alone at the fence post, watching them go. Jacob sits at a small wooden table, writing by lamplight. His hand moves slowly, each letter deliberate. We see the words, "To whoever finds this. Today I learned that carrying grief for half a lifetime can lead to redemption." The sun bleeds orange and red across the desert. Jacob stands at the fence, watching the direction where Takoda and her warriors disappeared. He reaches into his shirt and pulls out a small photograph, the same one that hung above his fireplace. Takoda's mother, young and dignified, stares out at the world. He looks at the photograph, then at the sky, and whispers words no one else will ever hear. A gathering around a fire. Takoda sits with her daughter, Naisha, 25, and other women of the tribe. Takoda wears the necklace, and it glows in the firelight. Takoda, telling the story. My mother was taken by soldiers when I was a child. For many years, I thought I would find vengeance. I prepared myself to be a warrior of rage. She touches the necklace. Takoda Siwanteed, but I learned that vengeance is a poison. It doesn't heal, it spreads. And I learned that sometimes, in the darkest places, there is a light. A man, one of the occupiers, carried his shame so deeply that he spent his entire life trying to atone. In the end, perhaps that is a kind of wisdom we must learn. Perhaps that is how we truly honor our dead. Naisha, will you keep the necklace? Takoda, I will. And one day, I will give it to you. And you will give it to your daughter. And you will tell her the story. Not a story of hatred, but a story of how even the broken can become whole, if they choose to. The necklace gleams in the firelight, a bridge between past and future. Jacob tends his garden, moving slowly. The fence is well maintained. Flowers grow where his wife's grave is marked. In the distance, a lone rider appears. It's a young Apache warrior, one of Takoda's men. He rides up slowly and dismounts. Warrior Takoda sends word. She has taken her people north, to land where the cavalry dare not follow. Your safety is assured. If you ever need us, we will come. Jacob, tell her thank you. Tell her I understand. The warrior nods, mounts his horse, and rides away. Jacob stands in the morning light, and for the first time in 30 years, his weathered face shows something like peace. The land changes through seasons. Snow falls. Spring comes. The desert blooms and burns. Jacob ages. His hair turns whiter. His movements become slower. But always, Takoda's warriors keep their distance, watching, protecting. Jacob lies in his bed. His breathing is shallow. His time is coming to an end. Above his bed, he has hung the photograph of Takoda's mother once more. Beside it, he has placed a new item, a detailed drawing of Takoda as she was on the day she came for the necklace. Outside, the wind howls across the desert. Takoda arrives with 10 warriors and several women bearing cloth and materials for burial. She finds Jacob Stone at peace, his eyes closed for the last time. She kneels beside his bed and places the necklace, which she removed from her neck, on his chest. Takoda, to her warriors, we will bury him here, on this land that has become Apache land. We will honor him as we honor our own. He was a man who understood that the only way forward is to carry our dead with us, not let them carry us. A funeral ceremony unlike any the desert has seen. Apache warriors and women gather around Jacob's grave. Takoda conducts a ceremony that blends her traditions with respect for the man who sought redemption. She speaks words in Apache, then in English. Takoda Jacob Stone lived a life trying to undo what he could not undo. He carried the weight of history and chose to transform it into peace. May his spirit find rest. May the land he loved remember him with honor. She places earth on his grave, and others do the same. The necklace is buried with him, returned once more to the earth, to the past, to the memory of those who came before. Takoda stands alone at the grave as her warriors ride back toward the village. She looks at the simple wooden cross Jacob carved for himself many years before. The sun sets, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. Takoda Vio. History is not changed by weapons or words alone. It is changed by moments, brief, precious moments, when two people choose understanding over hatred, when a rancher and a queen recognize in each other the same wound, And when they choose healing, she turns to leave, then pauses. She reaches into her pouch and withdraws the photograph of her mother, now worn and faded from decades of carrying it. She places it at the base of the grave. Takoda Vio, my mother never knew that a man, an enemy soldier, spent half his life mourning her loss as much as I did. But I know, and I understand that sometimes the most profound acts of justice are acts of mercy. She mounts her horse and rides toward the horizon, where her people wait. The camera pulls back, revealing Jacob's grave alone on the vast desert, the photograph, and